How you all going? This is my Jayco 2012 modifications that I've done. It's taken me quite some time. Not all ideas, but most of them are mine. There's a few good ones. Excuse the mess if you see any, because I like to tinker rather than clean, and also to excuse the wiring because I'm an electrician. Alright, so let me run through it with you. These are my two 120 amp an hour batteries, jam-packed in there, with a C-Tech charger, which runs off there, that power point. I have an MPPT solar regulator, because people say that the closer it is to your batteries, the better it is. Which it is, because of the amp conversion and all that sort of stuff. This is my inverter. I've just got like a fly net there, just to, I don't know, some sort of innovation that stopped the stuff going onto it. Alright, as you can see, it's 1700 watt. It's a pure sine wave. If you're going to run anything like coffee machine or anything like that, make sure it's a pure sine wave rather than a modified one. Modified one sort of mimics power, I suppose you could sort of say, and it can damage your motors and that. So for my coffee machine, I don't want that damaged, especially when I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Alright, now that inverter runs up and around there, messy. It comes to this switch. Let me just focus it in for you. Comes to this switch. Now what that switch allows me to do is to turn the whole circuit throughout the caravan. That's all power points, either on the 240 mains, which plugs in outside as you know, or the inverter. Now the inverter from that switch runs to this fuse box here, because safety first, and yeah, it's quite handy. I just flick that switch over. The only thing I've got to do is make sure that both of these power points are off, because that's my fridge and the battery charger. So I'll turn them two off first, flick this over, and then if I want the inverter to work, I'll push this button out here on and off. That just allows me, when it's all closed up, and I've turned it over to 12 volt, that I can just easily turn on the inverter if I want. So the inverter's not there sucking the juice. Also too, there's a 12 volt fridge. That's for my fridge when I bring my Jayco fridge in here when I'm travelling. And also too, I've got another one here, which is just for this. It's quite handy. This tells me what the batteries are, the voltage. LCD is probably not the best. Like you got to virtually stand right in front of it at the right angle. But as you can see there, it's charging. We're going along, and then I've got a sensor that runs into the fridge. So that's what the internal temperature is. Worst thing about this thing is the internal, so it's 37 inside my fridge at the moment. Just right for beer. Alright, other mod. I've done this water pump. Okay. Hopefully you can. This is my iPad, unfortunately. I can't use my iPhone, which is better quality. As you can see, I've tapped into the manual pump line. Comes straight from the tank. These are little inline one-way valves. You get them off eBay. I couldn't find them anywhere else, in fact. Yeah, so it's just an El Cheapo pump. I don't know if you can see that, I doubt it. Sorry, there's no light on this iPad. Yeah, it's 70 psi. You get like a quick burst of 70 psi and then it drops off real quick. But that's alright, that's what I need. So I'll just display it. That's full. A little bit noisy with the door open, but it's not too bad. The good thing about my setup is that no battery, I can still use the hand pump. So I don't need hot water. Tough enough. No, can't be bothered installing it. It's too expensive. Alright, here's another little thing I've got. I don't know if you noticed it when I was looking at the sink, but this is my dimmer and light on and off switch. This is so when I'm lying in bed and I'm too lazy That's it there where I've got it connected up. When I'm lying in bed, I also have this with me. I just slip this up the top, like so it's in that hockey stick bar above that. Anyway, what that does is, ooh, yeah, saying you can turn it right down or you can turn it right up. It's just, I just find it really easy. Once I'm in bed, bang, turn it off. I can turn it down so that when I do get up at night, I turn it on. It's not like bang, wake the kids up. Put up with the kids. Right, this is the frequency I think on the bag. If you're going to order it, they're only like $1.50. It's really great, really easy to install, really handy. It's got to be my most favourite and best mod that I love. I say when you do it, make sure that you order. I'd send them an email first on eBay and ask them if they can do 3 the same. Because you tell you $1.50 buy 3 remotes, you lose one. You don't have to talk Chinese to try and get the same frequency again. So, and if they respond to you, well, at least you know they're going to ship it fast, and also too, they should be able to say whether they can give you 3 exactly the same. And don't get the same as mine. I don't need turning my lights off, but it reaches quite far. Like I've tried it, and it must be 15 metres I've gone, and then I couldn't be bothered walking any further. What other mods have I got? Alright, so I think that's pretty much it inside. Yeah. Now for outside, so excuse the mess. For outside, I tapped into the light here for my power. Alright, if I run my fridge off there, I've got to actually select so it doesn't get the full. I spent a bit of a wire running into this inside the caravan. It's just too hard work to run a wire right round through the caravan again. It's just too hard. So yeah, I tapped it in that, but what I do is I turn my light onto, I turn my fridge so that if it's going to drain the battery, then it's like it'll drain the battery right down. So even though it gets to like 11.4 volts, the fridge, it's not actually draining the battery that far because it's not getting the full voltage from the battery all the way through here because the line's a bit small. If you know what I'm raving on about. Now, under here, as you can see, this little thing, that's just a little adapter I built in there. Now I have to actually physically open it up and either have this or the light. What that does is I have just a string of LED lights. I plug it in here, and I run the LED lights inside my annex, and then this becomes my on and off switch for my LED lights in my annex. That's another little mod I done. Now around to the front. This is how I wind it up and down. I bought this off eBay. Sticks in there, winds up, winds down. And if you're going to buy a drill, make sure that the torque is good. This is 450. It's enough. Battery could probably be bigger, but it still does it. It struggles a bit with my 240 watt solar on the roof. Portable, I just throw it up there. But yeah. Now in here, this is where I put my poles. Actually cut that there, slide my poles in, up under there, out of the way. Bob's your uncle. Here is charger for my car, Anderson plug. That goes straight into the, is it the Sadtech I think it's called? I can't remember. But anyway, that goes into the charger and it comes standard with the Jayco. So it just gives me a bit more oomph. Got a bigger cable there, like it's a pretty big cable. If you want any details on anything that I've mentioned here, just leave it in the comments. So I'll leave my water pump on. Left my water pump on. There you go. So that goes everywhere. Doesn't come out there. So if you want the diagram, I can give you the diagram. That's for my solar. Goes straight to my MPPT. It's up there on the roof. It's portable. I actually got a spanner. I got a little fitting that goes in my socket set, so I just put it straight on that. I use my drill as well for that. I'm so lazy. I got fans in here that will only switch on if the voltage is above, I think it's 12.6, so as long as it's getting a charge. the fans on the fridge will work. So once I've got my solar connected, the fans in the fridge at the back there and the vents start spinning. So it doesn't go by temperature, it goes by voltage. A lot of people put it by temperature, but I've got it by voltage just so if I've got the extra voltage, turn the fans on. Oh yeah, I've got the gas bottles there. I've actually got a gas guy to do the connection. All that neat. Yeah, I think that's pretty well much it. I just hate having the gas bottles inside because they were going to blow up. So I put them on the outside. Plus they give me a bit more room inside. And that's my modifications for a Jayco 2012. Yes it is. Yep, that's it. I can't think of anything else that I've done. Oh, and I've got the cupboard here. What that does is, so that's not my idea. That cupboard there, shelf, sits up here. Shelving. So it gives me a whole set of shelves there. I put it up, but I can't be bothered. So I hope you had fun. If you've got any questions whatsoever, just leave it down in the comments and I will try and answer as soon as possible. Most things I bought off eBay, and yeah, enjoy.